We kind of were sorting Joe's one day, and we were talking about how cool it would be if we could all, like, you know, just have like a get together, you know, and be able to enjoy toys and whatnot. So, and it kind of showed up with all these people in the yard.
We're spread out all over, you know, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Kentucky. So the meeting was always difficult, so we decided to have one large show a year. And Todd from Kokomo Toys was nice enough to volunteer his front yard.
It's bought and paid for. If we can, just please keep it as liney as possible. You know, we've got a very limited number. We want to make sure that we get, you know, for the first 40 households that are in the line. As far as paying for the exclusives, we can take charge cards. There is a 2.75% thing because we're using that square thing that somebody's got on their iPhone. So, I mean, that'll get figured in if you pay with your card. Otherwise, it is $125 for the set. The exclusive project is something that we always take a great deal of pride in. Considering the circumstances this year, we're really, really proud of it. We got held up a little bit. It was we had some nasty storms last night, and they kept some of the parts from coming in with the guys from Ohio. They were supposed to be here for about 5 o'clock in the evening. They didn't wind up getting here until about 12. Jay is the guy. It's really been his baby, and as far as the figures go, just a lot of time put in on his part, getting those things repainted. He got the heads sculpted. Those are brand new head sculpts on the figures. Kobe, who was running a booth over under the tent, is the guy who took care of molding a lot of the pieces for us. A lot of credit goes to James as far as getting the card artwork printed and the box artwork printed. And also really, he was the guy who really spearheaded this project in the last couple of days as far as bringing the final pieces together despite all the adversity that we were dealing with.
I have the two tail fins. They are printed only one side, so left and right you'll figure it out.
Actually, there's another show.
Yeah, we printed them up, created them ourselves.
You're gonna get sick.
Well, we're currently bringing in geeks, nerds, and action figure fans from, I think, 3 or 4 different states today. So the entire Midwest has converged upon Indiana and the small town of Kokomo. So I don't know, we're starting to, I think, get a reputation for being a little bit of a geek mecca. So for the Midwest anyway.
If you're a G.I. Joe collector, don't hide in the shadows, come on out. As you see, we're just normal folks just like you. You don't have to come dressed up as Snake Eyes, you don't have to come dressed up as any other character, but if you want to, that's great. We're just general guys hanging out, having fun, meeting new people, talking, laughing. Later we'll be drinking, but it's a good time. Good time had by all. Definitely, if you're looking for any Joes, Kokomo Toys.
He gets out of the Marines, comes back to the city.
That's kind of dirty. Well, we've been doing the store about 3 years. We sell online for about 10. We buy, sell, and trade all kinds of action figures, mostly from the 80s. But we do new stuff as well. We have accounts with Hasbro and Mattel, NECA, Sideshow.
Yeah, we do free food. Yeah, just make it like a picnic atmosphere. We got burgers, barbecue chicken, and hot dogs, but don't have any of those ready yet. So. The first year, we had 30 people show up. Last year, we had over 100. And as soon as we get general admission ticket sales counted up, we'll figure out how many is at this show. But it looks at least last year, if not more. So yeah, it seems to be growing every year, which is great.
You know, everybody seems to be having a good time. You know, everybody's been polite, everybody's smiling, everybody's having fun. They like the exclusives. You can't be happier with how it's working.
we started putting together a fan film called G.I. Joe Initiate, of course based off the G.I. Joe franchise. We got 9 main actors in it, 6 of us are prior service military. We're able to use a lot of different film resources. I've done several films myself, and to include the original G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra movie, I was an Apache gunner. They're about 5 or 6 minute episodes, and so far we've got 4 shot. This is the first one.
So you're gonna have to kill me.
I played Beachhead on the G.I. Joe side, and then several of us at various points had to double over and be Cobra Troopers and Vipers and fall down and get shot and get hurt a lot.
I run a website. We're based in Cincinnati, Ohio. The website is called thehiveofvillainy.com, and we're basically an action figure collection retailer. We collect a lot of various different lines that usually has to do with good versus evil. It's been amazing. I met a lot of cool people today, learned a lot about G.I. Joe, and supplied some people with some stuff they wanted too, and I'm always happy to do that.
Owner and operator of Roma Collectibles, yes sir. We basically specializing in G.I. Joe, the vintage stuff. Well, I say vintage, but 80s, 90s. One thing that I have a passion for is the international stuff, which that's, as this case, I mean, we've got a ton of stuff in it. Been doing the website for about 3 years now. First COIL Con, having a ball.
I'm actually helping run the Joe Declassified booth, which is a not-for-profit. Well, the organization Joe Declassified is not-for-profit. The booth, we put together pre-production prototypes, unreleased, canceled G.I. Joe items. We try to educate people on the history of G.I. Joe. I mean, that's sort of why everyone's here, and give them something different to do than shop. I mean, everyone here is sort of here to buy something, but that's not all you sort of have to leave with.
I've been a G.I. Joe fan since I was born. Or since I can consciously remember, and the toy line came out in '82. I'm 35 years old. I took a little time off for some women, some rock and/or roll throughout the high school and college years, but then got bored and went back into it. Haven't looked back since.
You kind of ran away from a few years when you hit high school and you start getting interested in girls and figure out everything else with your life, and then somewhere in college kind of came back.
Real American Hero Line's clutch, the Vamp driver. First Joe's 1976, 12-inch adventure team, the adventure team.
My first figure was purchased in 1983, which was a roadblock.
Why don't we go with Chuckles from G.I. Joe, the intelligence, the specialist, the schmoozer, and Zartan from Cobra, the master of disguise.
Oh, well, anybody that listens to the podcast, that's an easy answer. That's Snow Job. Snow Job is the Arctic Trooper. He comes from Rutland, Vermont. That's his bio. And Rutland, Vermont is very near where my parents kind of grew up in real life in Vermont. So it's always had a kind of a personal attachment that way.
Vintage-wise, it would be Dusty. But for the modern era, it would be Tunnel Rat from Renegades. I actually shared mine with my cousin. He would promise to play Barbies with me if I played G.I. Joes with him. And of course we always had to play G.I. Joes first. And he never once played Barbies with me. But he always gave me the characters he didn't like. So I got Pathfinder and I got all the girls. I had Zorana, I had Scarlet.
I'm a Beachhead guy. That was my handle on the boards. I also like Flash a lot. But there's just too many to list, I suppose. I got a soft spot for a lot of them. When I was, the little guys came out, I was 7, and they broke my little mind.
I mean, it's definitely got to be Cobra, but favorite character? 3 3/4 inch, probably somebody like Scrap Iron, one of the underappreciated ones, and 12-inch is the Sea Adventurer, my very first G.I. Joe. So, yeah, I started in the 70s and never stopped. So, and I cover all scales: 12-inch, 3 3/4, and I'm not picky.
So basically, Todd, who owns Kokomo, asked me one day for a file card and my height and a picture of me from head to toe. And I thought it was for the COIL Con website, like my bio. Turns out he's creating an action figure, which he didn't tell me till about 5 seconds after I gave him all that information. Now it's up for raffle, actually one was sort of put on eBay to raise money for the porta potties. So my figure paid for that portable toilet that everyone is using the washroom in. It's pretty fitting, actually.
Okay. Directed straight up. Burn the TV and everything else by Frederick Shaw.
Woo! It's great! Mike! Boy, so what's on your mind?
It's always when you least expect it.
Oh, yeah.
Vagrants work that way.
Yeah, myself and Mike Azari, one of the other members of the COIL, we're co-hosts, a four-man team that do a podcast called What's on Joe Mind. We're the only weekly Joe-only podcast that's out there.
What I like about COIL Con, and particularly this COIL Con, is there are people here that otherwise wouldn't be here or know each other. They've all just sort of, over the past year, trusted each other and even trusted me in a sense to kind of, if I've done anything for this con, it's been bringing people here who normally wouldn't be here. And just watching everyone work together on this project is just amazing to me. The people who run it couldn't be better people. They're all community leaders and they mean it, and they put their money where their mouth is and their time where their feet are. Or if that makes, I don't even know if that's a term. Is that even a saying? Put your time where your feet are.
What we've done is those that can't go to like Joe Lanta, those that can't go to Joe Con, we've got a central Midwest location to sit here and meet and have our own convention, whether it is the swap meet going on behind me or it is Kokomo Toys trying to get parts or trying to get the crown jewel in your collection, or it's just hanging out with the rest of the guys and talking Joe.